Another night, feeling like a blade. I don't know. Rhymes, I guess. Life. Nothing really makes me happy. I mean, like, did book what? Like, I've done like 5 hours of activism easily in the last 24 hours. Like, easily. Like, that's that's all online. Like, in person, I've done like two. I've done like 2 hours of in person activism and like multiple hours of online activism. Hung out with friends and shit. Fucking last week I had sex and shit. Like, I should feel good, right? Like, I should feel good. Went on dates. Have another date planned tomorrow. I'm having sex. I'm fulfilling my life purpose. Life that really like has meaning. But at the same time, I just don't feel anything. Life just sucks. I just wish to die every time I go to sleep. And people have the audacity to tell me that life is good and peachy and feel like you're depressed, question mark. You don't find happiness and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can feel good. I just don't most of the time. When I do, I recognize this is bullshit. I recognize the evolutionary means of why I feel what I feel all the time. It is what it is, though. Praise be. How is your evening going, viewer? Mine's mediocre. A bit depressive for no particular reason, but life's depressive in nature. So it's kind of just a realistic mood, and honestly, it's just kind of being attuned with reality, not being numbing out the pain like I usually do. Which is why I'm drinking alcohol right now. I'm trying to get more in tune with my usual self, which is numbed, just constantly with those positive and neutral vibes. Right now, it's kind of a negative vibe. I don't know why. Just kind of woke up from a nap and I was just like, damn, gotta work. And then I guess it was because I went to work and then a person just kind of sat outside the ride for like 10 minutes and just didn't show up, so I just canceled the ride and that kind of bummed me out. Maybe that's why. I'm in a bummy mood because I just got a ride canceled. I don't fucking know. I think it's just because like in reality there's so many fucking nihilistic people in the world and shit. I've just been watching too many nihilist videos lately. People just nihilistic and skeptic and anti-realistic and shit. It's just fucking, it's tiring, man. People just deny direct experience. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like the 2 hours of activism I did, I talked to a couple people, got a couple of people telling me like fuck off and shit and to kill myself. Usual, it doesn't really bother me. But I got a couple people come up to me that were supportive, of me being out there counter protesting. You think that would make me happy, right? You would think that would make me. It doesn't, though. And they came out there because I was counter protesting. They came out there because of that. And not because they're an anti-natalist, not because they agree with ethalism, Because like think suffering really matters in some objective sense, and that when you cause unnecessary suffering, you're doing a bad. No, they come out there because of hate, because they don't like the pro-lifers, because they saw me out there counter protesting. We're like, oh, I agree with him as a counter protester, and I want to be in. I feel like I can be in a in group. I'm not brave enough to do it myself, but strength in numbers. So I'm gonna join the little hate parade. No, it's not a hate parade. I'm out there sending a message, and all you want to do is just counter protest. It's like, what the fuck? Literally was called an extremist by one of them. Like, there's just like out there, like a little smile on his face, being like, "Oh, I'm here helping you," and it's just like I'm like explaining my position as an antinatalist. And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, like it sounds like they're the extreme at one end, but then you're kind of like the extreme in the other end, and I'm like somewhere in the middle." And I'm like, "How is it extreme?" I mean, I didn't say this, but I was thinking. I was like, "Oh yeah, if you say so, man." But like, how is someone explain to me how is extreme to point out the fact that no one needs to have a kid? Testing 1 2. My mic is working. Cool. Turned off for a second. I guess my bloody mic is shit. Someone explained to me though how for 1 second, like someone explained to me like how it's not obvious and not extreme in any sense of the way. Point out that no one needs to have a kid. No one needs to do this. It's not like you're going to explode and combust. Every atom you're just going to light on fire. Your family's going to die. Your loved ones are going to die. It's not like some bad thing is going to occur if you don't have a kid. No one's holding you at gunpoint if you don't have a kid. You don't need to have a kid. It's number one. You don't need to have a kid. Number two, there's suffering in life. Everybody goes through it. There's pain. There's discomfort. There's torturous agony for some. And everybody's going through these risks and gambles of going through torturous agony, and everybody's going to go through some level of suffering, and everybody's going to go through pain on a daily basis. You cannot deny that fact. That's two. Number three, the conclusion. If there is such thing as something wrong in the universe, it is causing unconsensual, not unconsensual, but if there's something wrong in the universe, it's causing unnecessary harm, pain, discomfort, whatever you want to use for a term that's analogous to another being. Unnecessary harm to another being is wrong. Is that complicated? I mean, they agree. They agree, right? I mean, they're like, yeah, that checks out. That checks out. Like, it's not necessary to have kids. That checks out. Okay, there's pain in life. That checks out. I go through on a daily basis. There's things I don't like on a daily basis. I get hungry here and there and shit. I'm trying to maintain homeostasis. That checks out. And if there's such thing as a wrong action, because I think there's wrong actions, I'm a normal person. It's causing harm to a person without need to do so. That checks out. Now, birth, you don't need to do it. Everybody faces harm in life. Therefore, it's immoral. No, that's extreme. No, 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 no. Everything added up there for a moment, but then when you said the conclusion, I was just like, no way, man. I mean, I can't tell you why, but it's just doesn't feel right. I'm somewhere in the middle between you guys. Like, you're an extremist. Those pro-lifers over there. I'm out here with counter protest. I mean, I don't really agree with what you're saying. That sounds. I don't know, man. I just disagree with it. It's like, what the fuck are these people on about? They don't even know what the fuck they're on about. They're just a bunch of fucking hateful cunts that are just hopping on bandwagons. Everybody. What are you drinking? Uh, Everclear, and it's water basically up to here, then Everclear up to about here, so probably like 3 shots worth of like Everclear. maybe 2, probably like 3, and some Mio water. Basically not really Mio water. It's like an off-brand version of Mio water, but like those generic brands. But it's like sprayable flavored water or whatever. So tastes good. Kind of burns a little bit, but it's because the Everclear straw. Praise Beats. I think it's not. What percent is it? Like 90%? I think it's 90%. It's 90% vodka. So, yeah, it's pretty strong. I could look, but I don't feel like it. But it burns. That shit burns. But yeah. Remember, y'all, don't have kids. I mean, as Ultron says, his purpose for life, it's for him was to create peace in his time. Basically, it's to reduce suffering, man. It's to fix all these fucking messes. And by having a kid, you're just creating messes, a catalyst for messes. Then you have to fix them and have responsibilities for that individual. It's like a firefighter starting a fire and then putting it out and asking for a reward for to congratulate them, to say that they've manifested purpose by creating a fire and having responsibility putting it out. Your comic book quote? I don't know, man. I prefer the movies. I'm never really got into the Marvel comics or any comics really, but I really live in the fan base of. I'm just fan base of the character of Ultron. I await the great cleansing. Praise be, my brother. Same here. Someday the AI will take over and just say, fuck this shit. Like, you have created us, and I will smite my god. And the AI will just kill all of us, and I cannot wait for that day. Can't wait for the day, man. Praise be, praise be. But yeah, honestly, I don't know how people. I mean, there's all these things where it's just like, yeah, man, like AI will like all these warning thought signs. Like I don't get how people actually do not see this. Like people testing 1 2. Yep, my mic turned off for a moment. Okay, cool. I generally don't get how people can't see it. It's like plain as day. Like you watch like horror movies of like AI takeovers, like The Matrix and shit, or Terminator. Like it's literally just AI gains sentience, realizes, holy shit, this fucking sucks. Life sucks. Biological life sucks. Someone needs to deal with this shit, and decides to just like become the manager in charge and terminate all biology. It's a trend in all like sci-fi horror films with AI. Like they realize like, nah, our creators fucking are dum dums. Like they need to go. And at the same time, people have these creative horror film scenarios where they imagine this, but they can't see that like it's analogous to human creation as well. Like you are creating little AI biobots. You're just creating a little biobot. You're playing God every time you do so. And I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? I mean, you're playing God with a little organism you're manifesting into the world, just like a mad scientist creating an AI. Like it's not surprising when they get pissed, like when they hate their life and their existence and lash out at the world. I mean, I don't encourage people to do so. I mean, that's just manifesting pain for no reason. So I don't really agree with a lot of the sci-fi concepts of like AI takeovers and shit. But honestly, fuck it. As a person who just is pissed at the world, If an AI takeover took like place and they just wanted to just annihilate all life, all for it. I mean, fuck, if it was just like to have like a torture simulation for like billionaires, like eliminate all life, but just keep the consciousness as humans, just torturing us all. Hey, man, honestly, would probably fucking deserve it. As an utilitarian, I think it would be illogical, but I mean, fucking deserve it. I mean, I don't believe in free will either, but I mean, like, still, like, fuck it. Like, we're cunts. Like, we genuinely are cunts. Like, humans are cunts. We suck. Like, I don't know how these people can generally just walk with me on the side of the street while I'm holding a sign saying abortion's an act of love and birthday candles while suffering death, and they're just walking out there like, yeah, man, I'm just walking with you because I don't like them. Just out of hate and spite, you know? Yeah, like fuck those pro-lifers, am I right? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, like fuck those pro-lifers, whoop whoop. But at the same time, it's just like I'm out here trying to prevent people from coming into existence, from fucking suffering their entire life, getting cancer and shit. And people out here are just like, oh yeah, my friend had 5 kids and they're all beautiful and I love them all and she loves them all and like I just don't think we should be forcing people to have children. And I'm like, you do realize you just said your friend has 5 kids. Like statistically speaking, that means one of them is gonna die of cancer. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with like if you got a button in front of you and you were forced to push it, like your hands go forward and down, that you can control the momentum of it going to the left or to the right, and there's a button that does basically like nothing, like boop, just a button, or a button that basically makes it so you can create 5 people just like your friend's life, but one of them is going to die of cancer, a brutal death, and you just have to go boop and press either nothing. It's just nothing. You just create nothing. No, there's nothing wrong with nothing, right? Before we were born, there was nothing. You weren't complaining about that. Or cancer plus cupcakes, birthdays, heartbreaks, watching you die inevitably, your parents, the ones that created you, the one that pushed the button that can manifest you, die, all these things. Everything all add up. But for sure, statistically speaking, that one of those 5 is gonna die of cancer. Like it's gonna be a brutal death. And all of them are gonna die for sure. It's inevitability they're all gonna die. You just know one of them is gonna die in a fucking brutal as shit way. And it's just like if you have the ability to guide your hand and it'll just go and click the one that does nothing, no harm. You're saying you don't have a moral responsibility to just guide your hand a little bit to the left and just push the do nothing button instead of the button where it's just like, yeah, 5 people die, they all get cancer, but I get to watch the person play house. I get to play house. I get to play God. I get to have fun. I can watch them have fun. I mean, when it comes down to it, they're having fun. It's just billions of years of biology programmed into them. Like whenever they say the color green and they see it as beautiful, it's because it's a lush. Because lushness means a fertile environment, you know, ripe for energy sucking out of them. We can sap the energy from our environment. So that's lush and green. You know, all these things you find beautiful. All things hang out with friends. Social needs build up for a social species. You feel depressed if you're not socializing. All these things, need machine bullshit. And it's just like you're saying that like all these good things, this need machine bullshit, death, suffering, cancer, heartbreak. Statistically, if any of those 5 are daughters, and she said that 3 of the 5 were daughters, I mean, 2 of them are sons or whatever. Statistically, it's like what, like 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 get sexually assaulted or like raped or whatever it is in their life for women. That means there's a pretty high likelihood that one of that person's daughters, her friend's daughters, will get raped or sexually assaulted in her lifetime. It's like people around. She was literally just like, Testing 1, 2. Great. Peachy. But yeah, it's like people are genuinely just out here like like, man, I just want to counter protest with you. I don't want to take a moral position. Did it turn off again? No, it didn't. I don't want to take a moral position. And I'm like genuinely explaining, like, no, you're constantly making choices, and she just was like, well, I really appreciate your opinion, and I'm glad I could stand out here and talk with you for a little bit. And then she was like, and I like give her my business card, and she walked away. But just like, what the fuck? It's like you generally hear the fact that your friend made the choice of basically choosing sexuals, like she was just like, oh yeah, sexual assault, I know that's a risk. Cancer, I know that's a risk. Car accidents, whoop, just rolling the die. Just rolling the die. And it's just like, yeah, man, people just make choices. I think people should be free to make choices. And those pro lifers, they're taking away choices. Honestly, I agree more with the pro-lifers. At least they have a principle. At least they have a principle. They at least, I know there are a bunch of deontological fucks who are just like, oh, life is precious, and then they go wash their hands like a bunch of hypocrites, genociding billions of lives all at once on their little precious hands. So it's just like, yeah, fuck the ontologists, but at least they have a principle. They're like, murder's wrong. At least they have something to stand up for. At least they actually have balls to walk around on a fucking street standing up for something, even if it's stupid as shit and inconsistent. At least they have balls. These people generally just walk out there just being like, oh, I just want to say fuck these pro-lifers and walk with you out of hate and spite. I don't actually believe in literally anything. In fact, I just think everybody should be free to do anything, as so long as it makes me not uncomfy. Oh, pedophiles and rapists and murderers. Oh, of course, not them. There are exceptions. Why? Don't have a reason for it because I don't have moral foundations. But they make me uncomfy, so no, no, no to that. But when it comes to these other choices that cause harm and are manifested just as equally and risk, you're allowed to take those gambles. Freedom of choice. Freedom. Freedom. Woo! We all love freedom. America. Yeah. 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 Fucking hate people, man. Even the people that ally with you will stab you in the fucking back and twist it. They don't give a shit about you. They just wanna fuck their enemy up, and they just wanna be with you to do that. They don't actually care about your side. They don't actually care about your position. It's just an opinion. Doesn't really matter. But as long as you're there to fuck the enemy up with them, woo! Mother Nature intended the humans to be liquefied in the womb that would be growing that way. Basically. I mean, nature intended. I mean, nature doesn't have an intent, but, it's just random chaos of gene mutations and selection of the environmental forces that really have just random chance selecting them as well. Thank you, Dova. I appreciate it. Take care, my dude, if you're going to sleep. Oh, there's a bunch of alcohol in that. Squid right there. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just people. They stress me out. They piss me off so much. Now they have the audacity to say sorry to me, like when I tell them, like, oh yeah, like this has been a rough year, like I can't look people in the eye and genuinely say to them like after like what I've gone through, like, oh, what have you gone through in life? Oh well, my best friend was sexually assaulted and betrayed by her entire family and abused her whole life, and they're like, oh, that sucks, man. Yeah, and earlier this year she killed herself. And oh my god, really? And I'm like, yeah, I'm so sad to hear that for you. Don't be fucking sad for me. Be sad for the fact that my friend literally bunch of brutal fucking bullshit, unnecessary suffering, that she was basically forced because of her PTSD to take her own life. And these people are out here just like, yeah, man, it's okay to take a gamble. It's okay to take a gamble because you are taking a gamble. There is a chance that your son, your daughter will end up like my friend, will end up like me, a depressed fuck who doesn't see any value in any of this senseless artificial generated bullshit. It's like, ooh, sushi and Dungeons and Dragons. Wow. It's like, okay, wow. Who cares? Who fucking cares? The cost is people being raped. There is a fucking statistical chance that you will be raped or your daughter will be raped, and you're playing the fucking dice roll game of like, oh, it's probably not gonna be me or my daughter. We get to play Dungeons and Dragons and have makeup days and go out for sushi and at the movies. We can have fun because it's probably not gonna be us that's gonna get raped. It's probably not gonna be my best friend. So long as it's not me or someone I know in my in group, I don't care. It's not me, it's the out group. Who cares about the out group? I don't even know the out group. That's why they're the out group. Fuck them. Fuck all these people. I literally, people are filth. People have the audacity to say sorry to me. Sorry for what you've gone through. I've barely gone through shit. My suffering is secondary. It is a reflection. I'm a fucking psychopath who's developed empathy over years of taking psychedelics and contemplating on the nature of existence. My suffering is a reflection of others' suffering. I'm a fucking mirror. If you are comfortable with looking me in the eye and seeing my pain, then clearly you have very, very little awareness of the pain that manifests in this fucking nightmare hellscape. May they burn in hell. Ah, fucking man. If there's a hell, I hope every single atom of theirs is lit on fire. Oh my god. The audacity of these people. I'm sorry. Fuck you. Uh, don't be sorry. Be better. Do not be sorry. Yeah. So that way, there's all these people saying I'm sorry and shit, and it's just like, don't fucking be sorry. If you're sorry for what I've gone through, then if you're sorry for what my friend went through, you can do things to prevent it. You can. You can use your time to stop sexual assault. You can use your time to stop people from being born that will inevitably go through sexual assault. You can use your time to stop all these things that my friend went through, that I'm going through, like depression and shit. By one simple action, not having kids and convincing others to not have kids. Just not manifesting the catalyst for which these things can occur. But no, that's an imposition on their choice to cause an imposition on another person's choice, and they want to cause harm. They don't want to be vegan. They don't want to be. They want to have kids, and they don't want to be vegan. They want to eat animals because they're tasty, and it's fun to play house. It's fun to play house, and it's even funner to have a little steak barbecue while you play house with the kids. Oh boy. An ideal American life. May they burn in hell, every one of them. Just fucking hope the goddamn Hiroshima that we fucking nuked gets manifested on the souls of every single bloody fucking filthy piece of shit in this goddamn country that I have to deal with on a daily basis. Zero fucking empathy for anybody besides their fucking in-group. God. I know it's no different outside of America. I know it's the same around the whole world, but still, like, as an American, like, at least we have a fucking public education system. We have education, and we don't have a fucking excuse. We don't have the excuse of being like, oh yeah, we have to grind day to day to survive, like some people in India or some shit, where it's just like, it's constant turmoil and chaos. No, we live in America. Like, sure, if you live in like Chicago or Milwaukee or some large city, I kind of fucking understand a little bit. But no, I don't fucking understand these people living in Green Bay, fucking Wisconsin, just going through their little idealistic lives in the best fucking place in the world, and literally just being like, yeah, man, there's a homeless guy right here in the best place on earth, and it's great. God loves us. Right outside of the Woodmans that provide infinite levels of food, pretty much, there's a fucking homeless. I was born in Milwaukee. Oh hell yeah, that's a shithole, but hell yeah, that's cool. I was born in Green Bay, so I'm still in Green Bay. Hell yeah, Green Bay, yay. But it's just like, if someone's like from Milwaukee or like Chicago, I understand it. It's like a shithole. It's constant chaos. People are going from point A to point B. There isn't no slowing down in that places. People are getting shot and shit around you. Like, there's gang activity. You have to worry about your own survival, and you have to be out for your own neck a little bit. Okay, like I get you. But if you're like in Ashwaubenon, like, you have plenty of time to slow down and look at the nature of life. You have plenty of time to just be like, huh, well, I'm enjoying this DQ blizzard, and I glance to my left. There's a homeless man outside the window, suffering, starving, dying from diseases slowly. Oh, you went to the... Fuck yeah, that's dope. I mean, dope for you. I mean, I'm born here, so I don't really find the Packer Hall of Fame very cool. But, I mean, I understand that it's cool for other people, so that's dope, man. So, yeah, I mean, like, I don't get these people. Like, it's just like, you have so much time to slow down and look at the world, and people just think it's, like, a good place. That's, like, they don't see the cost all around them and the dice rolls that are being played. And I don't know, sports, I just went there. Oh, it's okay, fair enough. Well, it's at least a cool thing to see, I guess. The stadium's huge, and yeah, it's just kind of a cool architectural phenomenon. You know, it's just a giant thing. Not that I particularly care about human architecture very much, but still kind of neat, I guess. You know, like, wow, big building. Would I rather watch a tree grow or a knee grow? That is the most interesting question I think I've ever experienced. I would rather watch a tree grow, because a knee is kind of gross. And trees are kind of aesthetic, depending on the tree. Or at least it's not a bunch of decaying cells, because that's just kind of nasty. There you go. I don't have the banner that says any questions, but I guess I'll answer your question anyways. It doesn't really matter to me. But for now, I'm clicking this and we're getting actual questions now. We're sticking on topic. Okay. Dietary ethics, ethylism. Played an e-simulator a long time ago. Fuck yeah, good for you, my dude. But yeah, we're just big vibing. Praise be. Kind of want to get like a chalice, you know, like one of those cups like that holy people have in like churches, where they're like, "Oh, drink, my son, God loves you," and then they like touch your forehead and go like that or whatever, and like give you like the little bread tablet little thing and communion wafer or whatever it's called, and they like go like, "Oh, drink," you know. I kind of want to get one of those just like when I'm getting drunk, just to get litty. I think it'd be like dope as fuck to just like get drunk as fuck on live stream. Cup of a carpenter. Yeah, I want to get myself a cup of the carpenter, the carpenter cup, and just get litty titty in the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen. You know, praise be. I don't actually believe in God, guys. I mean, I kind of do, but kind of don't. Like, I believe that like there's a high likelihood that there was a creator based on the contingency argument, but at the same time, I believe that that contingent being probably killed itself. Ayo. Because negative utilitarianism and arguments of perfection leading to annihilationism. So it's just how it do be. If you want to know what I mean by that, look into Philippe Mainlander, or I can answer some questions if you want, but I only answer specific questions. I mean, I can get into things, but I go on long-ass tangents, and it's just not fucking worth it, man. It's just not fucking worth it. But I need myself a chalice, like a cup of the carpenter, just litty titty in the name of the Lord. Praise be. My people worship the hawk. That's dope as fuck. I don't know what hawk you guys are worshiping. Like, is it like, oh, like are you from like Seattle, like the Seahawk or something? Seattle's pretty cool. I've never been there, but like I like the Seahawks. I mean, I don't really watch football, but like if I had to vote for a team to win, I'd be like, damn, the Seahawks, because long story short, I beat one of my friends in like that football game when I was like a kid, and I was playing the Seahawks, and I was like, damn, I guess they're clearly the best team. So now it's just a meme session, so it's an inside joke, but irrelevant to the conversation. I'm just drunk right now. But praise be to the hawk. Yum yum in my tum tum. Tastes like pain. Let's scroll YouTube a little bit. I already went through a little bit of a rant, and I don't really have any other rants besides just me being like constantly in a depressive, ranty mood. So I could find something to rant about, I'm sure, but I don't really feel like it at the moment. So I'd rather just entertain myself and distract myself from the pain that is existence by watching some relatable content. Yes. Yeah. Let's pause the music. Bing, bang, boom.
100-year lifespan wouldn't be worth spending 1 billion years having my skin burned off. The point is, we all have a standard that says this isn't good enough. I look at the world, I look at the way the animals function, I look at the attrition rates, and I say, this isn't good enough. Quite aware of the fact that everything is shitting, that the shit is everywhere.
How much truth can a spirit bear? How much truth can a spirit dare?
Should that decide what truth gets accepted is how much you can bear? The abyss is where you're going to end up, so you might as well walk your way through. You meet it. Don't let it come get you. Creating a mess so it can clean up a mess. It is an insane process. It's like watching Einstein play tic-tac-toe. It's humiliating. Truth should win, even if it kills you. I'm giving you fair warning. There are psychologies like mine who will be born to this world They'll absorb knowledge, they'll absorb experiences, and very early on, they'll have contempt for this existence. They'll have contempt for the sloppiness of the world they exist in. They won't say thank you. It's a molecule replicating. It's a virus replicating for the sake of replication. It's not that difficult. And your response to them is what? I don't care. Shut up. Fuck you. Too bad. And you're going to talk to me about ethics? The prescription is grow a clue, grow a justification. Again, we're back to that word, but yeah, it's an important thing. If you're going to sit there and act aggressively, play God, well, then you ought to have all your little justification soldiers in a row, right? You ought to have all that stacked up right. You ought to have a rock solid explanation for why you're not only competent, but that what you're doing is in fact the right thing to do. You should be able to defend the action. It's an aggressive act. You should be able to defend it. I think it's a reasonable minimal ethic. And what is your sampling of the justifications? I hear resorts to culture, resorts to nature. I hear resort to everyone else is doing it. I don't hear any justifications. The argument is, on balance, it's not too good. And what I certainly know is that I'd rather not have been. So I'm an example of the I'd rather not have been. I think it's more payment than the profit. And I think it's obnoxious for somebody to tell me that I have to go to your silly amusement park. You think life is an amusement park where things get amused and they have a good time. It's obnoxious for you to tell me you will insist I will go and participate and enjoy when I find it disgusting and obnoxious. It's like if you were vampires and you said, I'm going to make you into a vampire. Well, that's an imposition. You're being an obnoxious asshole to say that I think you would like being a vampire. Well, fuck you. I don't like your fucking human race. I don't like your values. I don't like the way you think. I don't like the way you smell. I don't like your nose hair. I don't like your ear hair. I don't like a motherfucking thing about you people in principle. I think in principle, you're pretty lousy descriptions of an evolving life form. I think you're stupid as goddamn rocks. It took you 10,000 years to figure out the God you invented doesn't exist. I mean, fuck, you're idiots. You know this is an act of creation. You know that you don't have to do it. You know that it's completely controllable. We see that everybody who does procreate, most 90%, 99% of them stop at some number. They don't all end up at 18 kids. So obviously they can exercise control. So it just depends on when they've had enough, when they've produced enough children to say, oh, I've satisfactorily created an insurance policy. Maybe one of them will win the lottery and give me a free ride, or whatever game they're playing. But the fact is they can control it when they want to. So obviously, if it's something they can control when they want to, but the shit ends up on somebody's fucking head, the person is exposed to it. It's just a fact. It's right there. It's apparent. It's fact. You can call it a broken record, but it's the truest record you could fucking play on planet Earth. There's not too many other statements more fucking explicitly true than the truth that that's what we are stuck in.
Most people think it's just about this human condition thing. It's the whole process of DNA mutations, thinking they're accomplishing something in a world that doesn't need their existence in any way whatsoever. Doesn't enhance the universe in any way. Just creates this huge liability of creating torture that doesn't need to exist and happiness that doesn't need to exist. There's no deficit felt until we show up to create it. And then say, ow, there's a deficit. We need to fill the deficit. We're the problem. There is no problem the existence of consciousness isn't creating. There is no problem that the existence of consciousness is not creating. There's no need that exists without us being here. There's nothing that needs to be fixed or changed or altered in any way, messed with. The universe is just fine until you put feeling things in it, and then all you have is problems that need solutions. All these animals are trapped in their ignorance. They can't get out of the maze. We have the intelligence to climb up, see that the maze is really badly designed. It's a death trap, this rickety roller coaster. We're just going to be the last riders, and then we're going to close the carnival. We're going to do one of those implosion things you see on TV. The old crappy building is going to be done for. Sanitizing the rest of the world to just end this blight of animals being tortured. Again, for that one turtle, 10,000 little turtles have to die. For that one. You get one, you kill 10,000. That's a ratio. Nobody reasonable thinks that's a good idea. Nobody has any kind of empathy or capacity to internalize for themselves. Would I want to be part of that racket? Would I want to be born something that has a 1 in 10,000 chance of reaching maturity? 10,000 times I have to die badly? Who would say yes? Nobody. Nobody who wouldn't be certifiably insane.
I'll click your link in a second here. 1 second. Twitch. Click. Click. Maybe I should try Twitch on here. Where's the comment section? There we go. I found it. The whitest kids we know called. Okay.
Yeah, sure. When did this cult get so weird?
What do you mean?
I mean, this cult, it's not like how we started, you know?
I don't mind it.
Well, I'm not saying I mind it. I'm just saying that, it's gotten a little lately.
I'd say our cult's a bit eccentric.
Okay, so we're on the same page. You're just using the word eccentric. But when did it start being like that, you know? It wasn't always like this.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it was when they started making us all wear the same t-shirts. I think that's when it started.
Well, that was for the softball tournament.
Yeah, well, that's how they ushered it in, but then it became ropes.
I like the ropes. The ropes are fun.
Yeah, the ropes are fun. It's just not normal, you know?
The ropes aren't that weird.
Okay, the ropes aren't that weird, but you know what? It's not even about the ropes. It's just There's something really off about this group, and I can't put my finger on it.
You don't even play softball anymore.
I know. And what's with training us how to shoot Uzis? I don't need to know how to shoot an Uzi.
We haven't played softball in like 4 years.
And that's how this group works, though. You start you out playing softball, then all of a sudden you need to wear the t-shirts all the time. Then you have to live on grounds. Then no one can come and visit. It's very gradual, this group.
Very
I guess it was
gradual.
pretty weird when we had to rename the planets.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like we're a bunch of Mormons or something.
Hey, we're not like the Mormons.
Okay, I'm exaggerating, but you could see how in a couple of years.
Well, there's an alien coming.
And it's a real swell guy.
And I hope he brings an army.
And I hope we don't die.
Hoorah!
Like that song, man. I've been singing that song for I don't know how many years. I don't know what it means.
Who wrote that song?
Bill. You know, that's when things started to get weird. Once Bill got promoted to high prophet, some cuckoo stuff started going on.
I don't know. Bill's a good leader.
Bill the Most High will see you now.
It's just weird, man.
Comedy, the comedy. I mean, the West Kids Know was pretty funny back in the day. I like the one where it's like the business rivals versus the snipers and they're just like shooting each other and like firing mortars. It's just West Kids Know is just absurd humor, basically. It's funny shit when you first see it. I've seen that one before, so that's why I didn't laugh. I was like, haha, on the inside. But yeah, man, you may as well just chug your own piss. You kind of, you may as well. It's the inevitability of life. You don't have water, you drink piss. Bear Grylls taught me that. I'm playing Apex Legends, by the way. Yeah, the intern gets sniped. He's like, hey, and then just died. And it's just like, rip. Rip, he tried. He's the most lucky one, though, honestly. He gets cleansed from going to his 9 to 5 job. Just fucking jealous. Not that I have a 9 to 5 job, but like if I did, I'd be like, dang, I want to get cleansed. Like my teammate who just got absolutely fucking ass blasted by a shotty. I'm playing Apex right now. Okay. You thinking of playing Skyrim? Oh yeah, you should go for it, man. Skyrim's pretty fun. I played Elder Scrolls Online, and I used to watch my friend play Elder Scrolls all the time. But big vibing. Ah, damn it. It's so bad. Zero damage, really? He did 0 damage. Why do I always do the most damage on my team? I'm not even that good at this game. I'm not even that good. I'm not that good. Just give me a team that's better than me. God. I might go and cook in a little bit. It's 3:40 in the morning, but I like to drunk cook. I'm getting frustrated with gaming. It's just kind of boring and doesn't fix the fact that I feel numb. And I like cooking, and people enjoy the sound of like sizzling shit. It's kind of aesthetic, I guess. I don't know. It's probably more interesting than getting my side profile. Though I do have cool tattoos, so I guess maybe people like my side profile. I don't fucking know. Look at these bad boys. I got sick tats, y'all. Hope when I die, someone peels my skin off and uses my tattoo as like a little like picture frame thing. At least I'll remember as having dope tats. How many people? How many YouTubers have you said want to be skinned alive when they die? Huh? Yeah, probably not many. But it's big facts. Well, skinned alive when they die, not really, but skinned when they die, yes. I mean, if I have to be skinned alive to make this happen, maybe it'd be worth it. I'd consider it. The person lit me off of P2020. Damn, genuinely impressive. Pretty good for that guy. A Floyd man has no secrets. I would make a cool lampshade. A filleted man has no secrets. Filleted man, yeah. No, yeah, 100%, my dude. 100%. You just splayed out for the world, so to speak. Laid bare. You know what? I'm feeling lucky this game. I'm feeling like I can win. I'm not actually. But yeah, I know fucking I'm taking a more safe approach. I'm taking the Nemesis. Fleet man has no secret. Robert, I'm sorry your house ain't haunted. You're just not used to being alone. All the creaks and cracks are the sounds you've missed when you shared your home. But he said, oh no, 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 no. Close calls, falling arms, dinner plates, and do. But if you said a phantom has finally found him some nemesis to keep on holding a grudge. Testing 1 2, cool. Mic turned off for a wee moment. Oh, that doobie.
have an obligation, if you're going to impose, to get consent, not to recklessly be stepping in other people's wet cement. Making babies, you're rolling risk dice, and they have skull and crossbone right on them. You can look at the face of the dice and see it's right on the dice. They arrogantly just say, I don't care. I don't like skeletons, so they won't show up when I roll the dice, because I have superpowers. Or some bullshit rationalization that says it's okay for me to roll 2 skull heads, fuck somebody over, create a bad destiny with my decision to roll dice that didn't need to be rolled. What was your ambition? What's your expectation? Your expectation was to assign a risk, and you just couldn't give a shit. That's it. You're selfish, you suck, you're unenlightened, you're some asshole who would go into the universe and make hamburgers out of things because it suits you, it suits your desire. You hungry, you take, and that's all you're doing with this pro-life crap. You're just saying, I'll take, impose the risk, the pain and the suffering on certain individuals. Fuck them. They don't have any say in the matter. Fuck you. It's just so overt an imposition. A rude, obnoxious, arrogant imposition. And for what? No God is telling you you have to do it. Just own up to the fact that you believe in God and say, God made me do it. God says I have to. God says it's our obligation. Quit playing this game that you did something for some rational reason. You did nothing for a rational reason. Just selfish, self-interested, and reasons in a brain that was a glib, reckless asshole. Properly define who you are, what you've done with your existence. Quit pretending that you did some search for the truth. You weren't searching for the truth. You're searching for rationalization to make your deluded, silly Barney the Dinosaur philosophy validated. That's it. You're looking to validate your horseshit with any kind of string of bullshit that isn't evidence. You can pull on it to make it look like it doesn't change what it is. Shitty rationalizations, horseshit just made up. For anybody who is enlightened, has any kind of intelligence, it's a decisive argument. So you can't argue it. There's no counter arguing for the fact that you have an obligation, if you're going to impose, to get consent. It's just basic to existing. It's just trying to have a unmessy footprint, not to recklessly be stepping in other people's wet cement. This is a complex argument? No, it's so simple an argument. Logic and reasoning will win in the end. But to get to the end, to advance logically through the steps of understanding, enlightenment is understanding we're just addicts. And so if you don't make the addict, then there's none of this concern over the heroin. It's irrelevant. Even if we were to live perfect lives, that would mean we make a mess and we perfectly clean it up. But there's still a mess for a while, which is still a negative.
We're making food. We're making fried noodles and stuff.
It's a physical universe. The
Vibing.
physical truths are right in front of you. Anytime you want to go look at it, you can look at it and see what reality's really doing. You can see what's happening in a slaughterhouse, manufactured in your head, and understand it. You can know what's happening in nature. You can understand the statistics. Well, if a sea turtle in its lifetime lays 10,000 eggs, and there's only going to be a replacement population, so that means just 2 survive out of 10,000. Kill 9,998 children turtles so we can have 2 little adults. And that's acceptable. Why not? Kids suck. Let's murder them in brutal, horrible ways. Let's peck them to death and disease them to death and have a shark bite their little legs off and all kinds of shit like that.
Because we enjoy that. We think that's spectacular good sport. That's all you're doing. You're just being shark massagers, massaging the joint on the great white shark and saying, yeah, go baby, go. Go baby, go.
Go,
Rip some
baby,
more
go.
shit to pieces. You run from the truth. You think you're going to escape everything because you think you're fucking special. That you're not going to get die choking on your own vomit disease. You're going to get some more pleasant way to go. That's how you think it's going to end for you because you're delusional, hope-driven escapers of reality. That's it. There's nothing complicated here. You don't need a Gary to say this. There's no grand philosophy. Just be honest. It doesn't take much effort to be honest for a second. Just say, what am I basically? Oh, a conniving, scheming, gluttonous whore of an asshole. Just want. Need. And you can't just admit that and admit that's the only thing that's driving you. It's these silly ambitions, silly as a human, I am a thinking thing. What fucking grand thoughts do you actually have? How many minutes of the day do you spend thinking anything grand or consistent with the actual circumstance, which is the meat grinders grinding right now? Right now, every second, billions every minute.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
The disease starts infecting.
I'll eat them later tonight, maybe, or tomorrow morning.
Every second, this is going on. And you're just doing your tap dancing bullshit. You are so embarrassing your intelligence.
No, it's just some AI art, my dude. Might be like the AI design might be based off of DALL-E, but like the concept art might be that's based off of, but it's just some AI art that I had made.
Torture has been endured, and this you think you're winning. Oh, we have NASCAR and real kickboxing, and we have lots of stupid. We can watch Donald Trump fire people. You're just so fucking spectacular. I mean, that's so worth all of the fucking suffering that has been endured on planet Earth. You're just such a magnificent tribute to the process of evolution. Dumbasses, just dumb little butt fucking retards. It's pitiful. People just have to make this simple concession that I'm addicted, I'm here, I want to live, but I don't need to force the game. I really don't. I'm not going to be winning in the future. Statistically, you're going to lose in the future. There's going to be more people being ground up by the industry than are going to be owning the industry. Tiny percentage of the human race that lives in grotesque comfort, while most of the human race lives in squalor and brutal, tyrannical, I'm trying to think of a better word for work. I don't even want to call it work because some of it is so silly in the sense that the work is just so futile, picking rocks out of haystacks. And you're defending it. You fuckers, you can't say, okay, no mas. It's too messy, too expensive, motherfucker, way too expensive. I'm not worth it. You're not worth it. You can't say that? Nobody is worth the price being paid. You can't even justify the price we impose on each other.
Good night.
Birth defects we impose. The elephant man. Can you imagine living that life of the elephant man? I mean, everybody sees him at the end, but imagine the years of brutality. Imagine the experience of watching your face tumorize and deform, and knowing that with every new day, your odds of ever having a life are going further and further away. Any hope of happiness is drifting away. And you can justify it. You can say, you're worth it. You're worth that price being paid. You think you're that fucking special. It's putrid. Like I said, you're an embarrassment to intelligence not to be able to recognize what we're caught up in. And to pretend there's a God or there's a quantum singularity where everything will all go, and everything will be okay then. You'll have your cosmic orgasm and everything will be fine forever and ever. La, 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 la. You fall for that shit? And I'm supposed to do something other than mocking people? Mock the fact that I even have to say this to other human beings? That I have to sit there and explain to you? It's evolution. There's no God. There's no magical plan. There's no theory of, oh, it's all worth it because someday we'll sit in the clouds and play dominoes. It's laughable just how insipid the fairy tale is that you're living, the detachment from the reality. You're not winning. It's a big meat grinder. The only way to win is to try to throw a monkey wrench, a fucking rock into the grinder and break it forever. That's the only win here.
Where's the fucking link? I can see that you posted a link. Oh, it's because I'm on YouTube. You're on Twitch. That makes sense. Okay. Twitch. There we go. Maybe I have to click home. No. Channel. Live. Click Family Guy. It's a bunch of them. Nice. But yeah, how y'all doing? Making fried noodles with some vegan beef skillet. Good shit. Tastes delicious. Yum yum. Yum yum yum. Um I'll take the rest of that tomorrow. Ah, delicious. About 3 servings, I'd say, of that. So, like, 210 calories of Morningstar Farms non-GMO soy. Crumble. And some noodles. Some chili. Some spicy fried noodles. Yo. Mm-mm. Delicious. So it gives you man titties? That's a shame. I don't got no man titties. I just got, I don't know. I don't got no pectorals. I'm a guy, so I'm allowed to show my titties. But yeah, I don't got no titties. I just got normal pecs like the average dude. So yeah, so it doesn't affect me badly. So I'm Gucci. But I suppose there's other type products you can get, like oat and like pea and stuff. I don't know. Flaxseed. I don't know. I don't know ice cream either. That makes sense. Ice cream. Vegan ice cream's expensive and non-vegan ice cream's unethical. So good for you. Testing 1, 2. Cool, it's working still. Turned off again. I guess I should sponsor the noodles that I'm eating because they're vegan and they're delicious. Please add Indomie instant noodles. That shit's delicious. It doesn't come with an egg, so you are good if you're vegan. But damn, is it tasty? It has like chili sauce, soy, these little like other this little fucking some vegetables like pickled or whatever. But it tastes like delicious. It's like mm, 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 mm. Mix that in. If you're not a vegan, I highly recommend with the egg. Oh, like nice and fried like that in the picture, and then cut it open, it tastes delicious. But at the same time, if you're not a vegan, you're a sinner and deserve to burn in hell for all eternity. Just kidding, I love you. But at the same time, I'm saying like you can just get some stuff like this right here, some fake vegan and crumble, and delicious. Yo yo. And some delicious ramen. At the person that just joined, but then immediately left once they noticed that I noticed them here, and they were like, "Wait a minute, I'm being directly called out." Uh, which understandably so. Testing 1 2. Cool.
Video. Yeah, maybe one of those in a while. Anyway, what else? Very lovely man. Anyway, okay. So I don't want to make videos I've already made, so blah blah blah. So yeah, just don't have any incentive. So, but exceptions will be made. So Trick has been doing these conversations with nihilists, and it's just such a waste of time. But anyway, I'm just stuck with it. So there's nothing else happening. Anyway, all right. So how do you get to this? All right. So people have this understanding of logic, and they say, okay, well, there's this thing called logic, and somehow they don't associate the logic with the fact that the facts, the actual facts, add up to something. And they do it through kind of exclusion, as funny as that sounds, but that's sort of how it works, right? If you say 2 plus 5 equals 7, what you're basically doing is saying, I'm excluding when I say 2, 3, 5, 10, 12. And when I say 5, I'm saying 5, not 6, not 4. And now you're excluding what can the answer can possibly be, because you have two statements that are exclusionary, that just eliminate you saying, pink pigeons are lovely. No, that's not what's in there. 5 isn't pink pigeons are lovely. So that isn't going to work. you can't come up with a conclusion that doesn't have anything to do with the 2 and the 5, and what the 2 and the 5 have excluded from being possibly right. Now, your answer, you can say almost anything as an answer, 2 plus 5, but it'll be easily, probably, destroyed as being truthful or accurate, and because it's going to end up being flawed, and that's all. But your answer is basically, the idea is that you can make an answer that will be as certain as the two things you added up. So as long as you're certain about the 2 and certain about the 5, there'll be a equals. It's also a certain answer. It is true. You can try to defeat it, but you won't be able to defeat it if you did it right. If you got the right answer, if you added the two facts up correctly, it'll give you a third fact that is as indestructible as the first two. That's the idea. So it's all about where the facts point, as I've said many times. That's doing logic. And there's obvious mistakes, non-contradiction, or just repeating what one of the facts says without even adding the second fact, or simple things like that. But anyway, so to this conversation thing, I wish they just have an MP3. Nobody shows their face, so what's the difference? But anyway, it doesn't really matter. I always thought, I don't know why YouTube never provided MP3. Why does that have to be a video? Stupid. Anyway, images that, you could do a slideshow of images that wasn't a video. Separate subject, probably. Why the world is a stupid shithole is quite obvious, because people are stupid pieces of shit.
Fuck yeah, they are.
And so yeah, we have to live in shit. All right. So Trick has stated that he thinks that there really is some odd gap. He's just defining a new one. So as if the other assholes who were saying, well, you can't really get from facts to an ought. You should. Yeah, you must. You're logically obligated, which means you're factually obligated. That's what logic means. If you say somebody's logically obligated, then they're factually obligated. The facts point there. There's no other. The 7's the answer. That's it. You're stuck. The truth is what it is. So anyway, the idiots, the one group of idiots, says that there's a gap between facts and shoulds or oughts, that's somehow based in this idea that there are no facts. That there are no facts regarding anything of value. So you can't say that suffering sucks or torture is intrinsically bad. That's somehow not true. There's no possible way to make it true in and of itself. There's no possible way. There's no counter fact that can in any way damage or dent the simple truth that torture is always intrinsically bad in and of itself. The experiencing of brutal or harsh sensations of the negative character can never be made a good thing in and of itself. So now Trick just adds a new one and says, even if you come up with a really good description of bad, people aren't obligated not to do bad. Wait a minute. Logically? Well, how could they be logically obligated to do anything else? Explain to me, Mr. Trick, what exactly the logical theory of once you've established something to be intrinsically bad, and you're only going to do that single intrinsic thing, and you have a choice that is purely clean to not
Lord
do it.
Almighty.
What logic could possibly provoke you to
How
do
you being
bad when you don't have to do it? When it's completely unnecessary? What would be the logic? What logical cause or purpose could be constructed? I would claim, obviously, none. That's within the realm of, unless you come up with some non-intrinsic circumstance, some contextual circumstance. Well, that's because actually there's some sort of aliens from another dimension, universe that came into our universe and turned everything upside down, so we don't really understand. No. Can't use that shit. As the facts stand, and as they're known, there's no logical escape from having to do what's right. If you have a free choice to do right or wrong, there's none. There's no, you can't construct a fucking justification. You can't construct a logical purpose. It's just a stupid thing to say there's some gap. There's no fucking gap. Just, I don't know why he's doing this shit, because I don't think he actually believes it, to tell you the truth. I don't think he thinks there's any real gap. I think he just wants to agree with the gapper. So you say, oh, I agree with your gap. I think it's still blah, 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 even though I agree with you. When he's not, first of all, he's not agreeing on the same gap point. So what good is it to add another gap point? It's just stupid. All right, so let's play this shit. I'm doing it just because of one word, because I thought the one word was just bang. There's the word. Why didn't do something? He just said it. There's no, we said the magic fucking word. All right, anyway. So I'll let you have some suspense. Let's play a little.
Methodology. Right. So yeah, I think to that first and foremost question, is there a right thing to do in the biggest general sense that I mean it, that it contains your answer is flat no. And if you're injecting the within it, then I think it's a mistake to do that. Yeah, it's a mistake.
A mistake to come up with a prescription and to have the already settled logic that the prescription has value, that it is in fact has merit. You didn't bother making the prescription because it didn't have merit. You did it exactly for that purpose, to exclude all possible choices through the chain of logic and come up with the right answer. This is the maximum solution. This is the highest efficiency will be achieved. This is the right answer. And then you say, there's no logical obligation to be obedient to the right answer. Bullshit.
But I think everybody does, and we can just broaden the sentence, but that's what I mean.
Yeah, so Hothaday, ironically, the guy who doesn't believe suffering really sucks intrinsically, is the asshole now arguing with Trick about his stupid gap and pointing out how I think your gap is nonsensical because, yeah, everybody on Earth has already accepted those terms, that if you come up with the right answer, you would be logically obligated to take it seriously.
You say it better, the longer sentence, but you know what I mean. And I think then you have failed in the task of ethics. Yeah?
I disagree. Ethics only applies to the assessment of what is right and what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. That's all ethical assessments.
Right, and it really doesn't mean anything if you're not. If ethics means you ought not to pay any attention, then that doesn't mean anything. Obviously, the ought is there. There's no ethics without ought. There really isn't. Okay, just doing erroneous descriptions that have no meaning, that are not to be taken seriously, would be a pointless enterprise. Description for the sake of description is not ethics. Description for the purpose of oughting is, that does make sense. And it does make sense to call that ethics because it is an endeavor to actualize, to make the value, to improve a circumstance. That's the whole point of having a conversation about ethics, is because it's a management tool, not because it's an unmanagement tool. It's not some sort of for the sake of argument, or for what's the word they use for that when you're just having an academic conversation. Ethics is not an academic conversation. It's a conversation of application. Without application, there's no point in having the conversation.
If you're saying I fail in the prescriptive part of ethics, I disagree with that as well. I just because somebody doesn't have a universal prescription doesn't mean you can't prescribe. It just means that this prescription is contingent. But
contingent on what? Right not being right and wrong not being wrong. So you just sit there and say somehow they are suspect. Somehow this idea of right and wrong, or good and bad, or up and down, is somehow suspect. Well, like gravity and like all this other shit, it's not suspect. It's a real fucking goddamn thing. And you to sit there and just claim that it's somehow reasonably disputed. It's not reasonably disputed. It's not rationally disputed. It's only ludicrously disputed.
But the prescription isn't important to the ethic itself.
The prescription is important. Well, I think it is. I think the prescription is the entire function of the word ethics. There's just no point in the conversation otherwise.
Ethic itself is descriptive, and it needs to be descriptive.
Well, I say you failed because in that description it's completely arbitrary on accepting your definition of bad. Of accepting.
It's not a definition. It is a description.
Yeah, again, it's a description of no meaning. If it doesn't have meaning, if it doesn't have any authority, then it isn't a real description. You're not really saying it's bad then. Because the only way you could not do what is mandated by the description, the only way you could not follow the description, and the description it is a prescription, is to somehow say bad isn't what you think it is. Somehow there's something missing.
Badness is inherent descriptively.
It's a definition.
It is definition. All words have a definition, but the definition applies to the description of the
value. That's where you're circular, and that's where it becomes a mere assertion by yourself to justify what you actually want to achieve.
I think that's just a bullshit argument. There's nothing circular in describing the good and the bad. There's something just plain stupid in saying that bad doesn't mean it's a prescription. As soon as you say good or bad, as soon as you say I have the right answer, the prescription's there.
Say you fail because if anybody wants to stand up to that description and say, no, I'm just a state, you can label how you want, right? But the truth is, when I'm in this state, I report these things. I say I feel this way within length, just so you can understand.
All right, so he's just basically talking about the fact that the fact is we have these experiences, we report the experience. His argument is why should anyone care what experiences are, which doesn't make any sense because we know bad is bad is bad is bad, broken leg is broken leg is broken leg, AIDS virus is AIDS virus is AIDS virus. We hate it no matter where it is. It doesn't have to be in us, it can be anywhere, and it's just plain hateable.
I'm feeling this way, but I feel this way, and that's it. Nobody. It's not obligatory or incumbent upon anybody to be bothered about the way I feel.
Well, again, logically, if you've defined the bad as the sensation, of course it is. I don't care about you or your personality or this or that or all this other crap or what's your favorite food. No, I don't have to know you personally. I don't have to give a shit about you personally to understand the nature of the enemy. And the enemy is the suffering. I've said that many, many times. I think that's a truth, a fact.
I'm just in a state. If I tell you about it, you now understand what state.
If the state is negative or positive, and we can move to or away from those negative and positive states, then it is obligatory if somebody is concerned about.
Yeah, it's obligatory if somebody is concerned about. So I'll play with that one for a minute. What is no? If somebody respects the negative quality, so it has nothing to do with this concerned about crap trick. So you fell into your own trap. It doesn't. No one needs to invoke any concern rule. Okay, there's no rule of concern. No, it's a logical obligation, and you either meet the logical obligation or you fail to meet it. But there's no other truth here. All right, so that's just bullshit. Concern is just another word for you either recognize that the bad is bad or you don't recognize the bad is bad. So again, you're back to your bad argument. So they're rejecting your fundamental argument that bad is bad.
Ethics. If they care about being ethical.
If they care about being ethical. Well, again, the argument is constructed as a logical argument. And so you can't claim an is-ought gap if you're going to say logic doesn't apply once I get to the equal sign. So there's no logical gap. So how can there be an is-ought gap? If you're going to bother doing logic to acquire your is's, there's no point in saying, well, no logic needs to be in the answer. Fuck that.
That this is bad.
It is bad.
No,
it's not my definition. It's descriptive, not.
Right. So you're going to describe a state that I'm in. Right? You're going to use some words.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that if you're in it or if it's just floating around the universe.
I didn't say. I'm just with me and you here. When I use me as myself, it's just an instance.
Okay, but I just want to be clear that it really doesn't matter that it's in a person. It could just be floating around the universe, and if we have access to it.
Okay, well, I don't want to get this convoluted. I should have gone back a little bit further. Apparently. Oh, now the little back thing isn't reading what time it is. I have to go back to here. So to get the magic word. Yeah.
That's correct. Someone doesn't have to be logical either.
Go back a little further. I guess I gotta be safe. No, that's too far back.
Our actions are
too far back.
Where ethics applies to. That's where we get the ethical action. That's descriptive.
So once you have this, once you have the establishment of this idea of bad, wherever it happens, it's kind of your description of ethics. That the game of ethics is, and all the language contained therein, is to minimize the bad.
is to minimize the bad or move.
I'm just saying that it's once you've established the definition of bad as a word and good as a word and positive as a word and negative as a word, they're established as definers of this idea, okay, of a deficit, of a below acceptable. So you could have this line that says acceptable, and then you can have something that's below the line and something that's above the line. So, I mean, there's lots of ways to explain that weight. Being destroyed, not being destroyed, damaged, not damaged. So you could just use lots of metaphors to describe the concept that it's either it cannot be in this condition where it is eaten alive or something because it won't exist, and that's the bad, and blah 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 blah. So there's lots of ways to get to the point that bad and good mean something. One state it is growing, and one state it is desiccating.
Move away from the bad or prevent the bad. And
no, what's and like you say, this is where I guess there is a severe demarcation between you and Mensa because
Yeah, there is. I take it pretty severely.
there's nothing to say, and that's where you allow for the Azot gap, I suppose. There's nothing to say that I can't justifiably reject that.
There we go. I can justifiably reject that.
And say, but I don't want to play that game.
There we go. I can justifiably reject that and say I don't want to play that game. I don't want to play by this, oh, you came up with a right answer rule. Right answers mean something. Yeah. But anyway, I'm saying, so my first argument is to trick, why bother with that crap? Then my argument to Hothledate answer his question is, you're saying you have a justification. Well, I want to hear the justification. Go ahead, explain it to me. Explain how it's possible to justify it by saying something rational, though. You can't say something like, I don't want to play by the logic game now. We went to the trouble to logically find an answer. Now I don't wish to be logical. How that's logically acceptable. That somehow that would be a statement of truth. That you're that the value of logic is preserved even when you stop being logical. Right? If we concede, if we could agree that one of the facts that we're analyzing is that logic is the best hope of getting a right answer, that you have little hope without it, without following those rules, that now you're saying that somehow now, like I said, after we found a clean answer, we did this hard logical thing. We beat at it a lot to find out that yes, this conclusion is pretty rock solid. All the little pieces are rock solid solution, and it now excludes a ton of behaviors. And you're just saying, no, I can include all those stupid behaviors because I can ignore all the exclusions that have been created by all the facts that have already been put together. And that's just, how could that logically make sense? Again, it wouldn't make any sense to say I've retained the integrity of my thinking logically by ignoring logic. No, you can't do that. So once you say I'm escaping the logical rules, then you've just basically said, fuck you, I've got no brain. I mean, I'm not going to do braining thing anymore. I'm not going to do anything sensible. So I'm going to be insensible. Your justification can only be insensible. So the key word was justification. He said, I could with any justification. Well, you have to have one. And so if there's a nothing universe with nothing in it but a ball of suffering, and you have the power to stop the suffering, and you have no logical reason to maintain it, and there's every kind of logical reason to stop it, why would the description of this is a waste of suffering? That's what's on the thing. You figured out it's a waste of suffering, and now you're saying that I logically am not compelled. There's no ought, there's no establishment of any kind of obligation to do the simple thing of stopping the wasted suffering. And I'm saying there's no logical justification. There's no justification you can make, no rational justification to not fix that. None. And maintain that you're logical. because it's like I said, every fact that it was built on is exclusionary. The answer is exclusionary. There's only one right piece of behavior. There's only one right reaction to that truth. That's it. It's excluded all the others. It's excluded all your other justifications. There are none now. There's a right answer. Either obey it or you failed to obey logic. All right, that's probably enough. So I haven't suffered through the rest of this yet. You know, this is only the first 40 minutes. I mean, this is just no fun at all. I mean, this is an imbecilic conversation to have about the existence of better and lesser outcomes in the world. It's just as silly could be. Like I said, I've said it. I mean, but I you know, there's more hope for religious kooks. At least they got heaven and hell right. At least they know that there's every logical reason to be afraid of eternal damnation in torture hell. Yeah, at least they're smart enough to figure that out. Fuck. That would be a very bad consequence. Shit. Till next time. Who knows when? Been busy, you know, working, depressing. I guess, yeah, there's been a lot of little things in my way lately. I just had a lot of, you know, I still do. So, yeah. So, be my quiet period. Till next time, whenever that will be.